I don't look at it like that.
How you look at it?
You don't look at
Because
like
there's
what?
mad
What you want?
other shit that you could do. I don't know Pablo to be an investigative journalist. Most of us met him from ESPN, where I would argue that his job was not to be an investigative journalist at all. I think that's corny. I think there's refs to go after for point shaving. I think there's players that are faking injuries and taking themselves out of games. I think you could do that. That's dope. I think there may be coaches that are complicit. College sports has been corrupt for mad long. For your first joint to be this type of nuke against the richest owner in the NBA, it's like, all right, what do you think? What do you think is about to happen now? You about to give the guy that has had load management and wouldn't mind some time off? Like what if
the story's a layup?
It's just corny.
What's good, Elevators? It's your boy Elevation here with another episode of the JBP Elevated, where we speak on the Joe Budden podcast and all of his co-hosts on and off the pod. Whoa. What the heck is going on right now? Hey, guys. Whoa. Is Joe Budden entering Joe Rogan status right now? When Joe speaks on topics, I had gotten used to and honestly pushed it to the side when he spoke on a Nicki Minaj or Cardi B, and they would get in contact with him in essence to tell him to stop speaking about them. But now Joe is mentioning people and they're reaching out to him and they're trying to come on the show. This is huge. I don't know if y'all realize how huge this is, but this is huge. It's already a huge deal that Pablo Torre was able to get this story to where it is on its own. But what happens if he makes the crossover to get on Joe's show to divulge further into this topic? Furthermore, if Joe and Ian are smart, which they are, and I know they're watching this video as well, so here's free game. Fuck it, I don't care. If they were smart, they would not only invite Pablo Torre on to the Joe Budden show, they would get Pablo Torre to drop new information on the Joe Budden show. And knowing Pablo, he will come with new information just to further his point. But let me be clear. This is how dangerous clip culture can be. Because this episode literally just came out today. It's behind the paywall. So Joe's getting more traction for people to go to Patreon. But this episode just came out today, and they clipped it up, so Pablo Torre didn't hear the part where Joe said he was bullshitting, and he understood what Pablo was doing. He's just speaking for the other side of things. But anywho, is Joe Budden at Joe Rogan status now? When he speaks on things that are major, he's able to get traction through Twitter, and he's able to hit these people through the back channels. What happens when Joe becomes the Kai Cenat of YouTube or of Patreon or of paywalled content? Because streaming, people pay to watch you stream because there's no telling what you're going to do throughout the day, and there's a huge possibility that you're going to do it throughout the course of the day. But if I pre-record my shit and everybody that I speak on reacts to me, and there's a possibility that I can get them on the show and broaden my horizon while doing the same to them. Because be clear, Pablo Torre is doing what Joe said he was doing while he was being facetious. I had this conversation with my brother, but I've come to Pablo Torre's side. I'm all in line with investigative journalism now. But initially, I was saying what Joe said today. Why is he doing this? Why would you go after the whale of the NBA, the person that's literally saving the NBA? And I made a sports video that's on my page still where I tied it in to the Intuit Dome. I think Steve Ballmer don't give a fuck about the Clippers as long as it doesn't get deeper into how he was able to get the Intuit Dome. But that's another story for another day. Joe is already doing Prize Picks ads. Joe is already the narrator, or at least one of them, on the new Anthony Edwards commercial, or at least one of those. And now if he could get the Pablo Torre space, and once again, if he could get Pablo Torre to come on his show and break some more of this ongoing Kawhi Leonard inspiration or aspiration in Steve Ballmer case, that could open the floodgates for Joe. Because it's already bad enough, or good enough. Let me not say bad. It's already good enough that Pablo knows who the fuck Joe Budden is to begin with. The way Joe speaks on the higher tier celebrities that everybody is just supposed to know, Joe is starting to become one of those higher tier celebrities. So every time he says something pertaining to you, it's going to reverberate back to you. You're going to hear it whether you watch him or not. Joe is entering a different space, guys. And we're wondering why he's raising the Patreon prices. It's the analytics like this that you really can't show in numbers that will prove to him why he is able to raise his prices and why it's not going to be that huge of a drop-off. Joe is entering a different space, guys. I really don't know how else to say this. And this is not the first time this has happened, but it's happening so frequently now. And once again, this is a Patreon episode behind a paywall. Even though it's clipped up, people are responding to shit that is behind the paywall. He did it. He did it. And it makes me think about what he was saying. It couldn't have been more than a month ago. It was at the end of the episode where he was letting us all know and giving us warning that he knows he's currently underpaid. This is speaking to that. But dog, he can enter a different realm, because I keep tying all the interviews in and getting frustrated because none of us watched the JBP for the interviews. But at the end of me saying all of this, I always go to, what if he starts interviewing different people? Movie stars, sports analysts, investigative journalists. And now that he has Mark Lamont Hill on board, that Dr. Fauci interview goes completely different. Completely different. We all forgot about how he had to handle COVID and how the puppeteers were playing with, were playing with him at that point in time. It would be a different story with Mark Lamont Hill, and he's working towards that. This is the sign of many things to come. And guys, I know I'm Mr. Speculation, Mr. Conjecture. I'm making it up. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But please hear me clearly with these words. What just happened right now is a big deal. It's a big deal, especially if they can get Pablo to come on the show and divulge some new information, because that means everybody would have to hear it here. Now, at the same time, because Pablo's playing in them murky waters and he's playing with the big fish, I don't know if you actually want that to happen on your show. So the brainstorming rooms that occur, this is one of the big brainstorms right here. We could break news with this interview. We could broach new horizons. We could reach demographics we have never reached before, because it's clear as day Joe is going after the sports demographic, which is why he speaks on sports every show now. But this would be major. And this is when the brainstorming comes in, because what happens if Pablo does divulge newer information about Steve Ballmer? Now we're on Steve Ballmer's shit list. Now we are in the eyes of one of the big fish, because we wanted to crack down on investigative journalism. But who am I? This is all me hopefully foreshadowing, but this is all me just putting thoughts on wax. Just trying to get this shit to happen, because this could be a big move for the JBP, and in essence, it would be a big move for us. What happens if Joe is already... There's a reason why he gets upset every time you say he's number one in the urban space. But what happens if Joe can transcend that and he's no longer considered just urban? Anywho, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the page if you haven't. If you have, you already know how we rocking over here. You already know what's going on. We're just going to keep this thing moving. This is huge, though. Peace.